Hi everyone, it's Joe Moses with an introduction and a welcome to Writing Studies 5112, Information Design. I want to walk through the course and the syllabus and the big picture and some of the details. So I will get started with that straight away here. I'm on the Information Design webpage in Moodle, which you should be subscribed to already. And I guess I will start by saying that the course sessions are going to be outlined as you see on the screen. So when we look at each session, I'll provide an introduction and a sense of the objectives for each of the week's activities. Class time activities are items that are listed on the screen as you scroll down. I will have class time activities designated, and the point of that is to say, well, if we were in a classroom, we would be expected to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And so the anchor activities for our sessions will be those in-class activities, which will include things like lectures or presentations, conversations, exercises, and things like that. So you should plan to spend about 3 hours every week on those sorts of in-class activities. I break out then the presentation or the lecture, which would be part of your class time, and there'll be one or two of those or as many as are needed based on the content of the session and the sorts of information that I want to convey. Then there'll be a weekly assignment, and which will be comprised of readings and deliverables in the form of blog posts or forum posts or written assignments uploaded somewhere, and things like that. And let me scroll down here and show you what we're doing the first week. By way of introduction, we review key elements of the syllabus and the projects and reflect on definitions and sort of the big picture of what information design is all about, so you have a sense of where your skills are now, where you want your skills or your knowledge to be by the end of the semester, and we'll show you the path that we intend to take to get there. Objectives for the first week are to understand how this course is structured, to be exposed to the key perspectives. There'll be several readings that I'll assign. And each of them gives you a slightly different perspective on the definition of what, or the scope of what information design is. In general, we have two conceptions of information design. One is a process and one is a product. The process of information design is one of very strategically thinking about who our audiences are, what our purpose is, how are users going to interface with the content that you're developing, and analytical processes for arriving at a development process for accessing content, turning it into something usable, knowing how your users are going to use it, where they're going to use it, and the like, and then moving on through a process of developing that content in a form that's palatable, accessible to your users. The second general idea of information design is that more traditional concept of designing a page or designing a screen so that it's scannable using headings and subheadings so that people can look very quickly to see what the content is and where they might find the content that's going to be the most useful to them. Looking at the fourth objective there, establishing connections to others in class and to new sources of information design and related fields. This idea is important to recent studies about connected learning and how important it is to establish ongoing connections with nodes or intersections of you with information, you with people, you with subscriptions, online data. This is going to be an ongoing important component of this course, so you will develop these connections over time. I'll ask you, for example, in the first week to look for bloggers who are of interest to you professionally. And that's just one example of many that we will explore this semester. So you can begin to think about sources, thought leaders that you're interested in following on Twitter or on following their blogs, using some sort of a reader to aggregate information on topics of interest. And I will ask you to reflect on the information that you find week by week, and every now and then ask you to produce a learning artifact blog post. And in short, that is, that blog post will be the product of a 4-part process of gathering information, reflecting on that information, creating something new out of that information, and then posting that and going public with that information so other people may provide feedback, commentary on what you've produced. I will go into that in some detail soon, but I'm in overview mode right now, so let me keep going. Finally, one objective is for you to see yourself in relation to other students in the course. So we'll do these introductions and you'll read about each other so that you know where you are in relationship to other people and what you might be able to learn from others or what you might be able to teach to others by going through that process. What you see here then is the syllabus, and this is a Google Doc that I've embedded into the Moodle frame here. And what we're looking at up here on top are the 3 main texts. One, Don't Make Me Think, which I imagine you've already purchased. Information Design, or Designing Information rather, and then the Wayfinding Handbook. There's one chapter on wayfinding in designing information, and this topic turns out to be so important that I wanted to elaborate on that by requiring a second book, which goes into greater detail. The other sites are out there in part because they are exemplars of some of the principles of good information design that we'll be discussing this semester. When you move down and see course sites, this is your general Moodle access point. This is to the course itself, the one that we're on right now. And then this tells you how to get involved with Google if you're not already involved. You're going to need a Google Plus account, and that enables us to do Google Hangouts, which are online video conferences, where we can have up to 9 students or up to 9 people at a time in the session. And there is no requirement for synchronous activities for this course for you. But there will be occasions when we'll be able to connect with other people in this video format, which is very, it's a nice way for us to engage with each other in a more personal way, rather than be simply these videos or all the stuff that I post online. So when we have the opportunity, I will schedule several different versions of the same session to accommodate people's schedule. And then if for some reason you're just absolutely not able to attend, they'll be recorded. My office, if there's occasion for us to meet face-to-face, which I welcome. I'm in Nolte, which is over behind Northrop Auditorium. You can see the office hours here from 5:30 to 7:30 daily Central Time. Online or by appointment, we can have phone calls, we can do chats, we can do hangouts, we can do all kinds of things. So let's just work out what is going to work for you and me and like that there. You might as well just call my cell phone if you want to contact me directly. My office phone is, I don't use it a lot. Direct to my cell is fine. But the most, I can reply most readily to emails. So, that should be your first idea. Your first mode of contact. Here's a course description, which I invite you to review. and what the learning outcomes are, which I better reformat. What happens, of course, sometimes you design something in Word, you upload it to Google, and then it reformats, and the advantage of a bulleted list has, as you can see, been destroyed. So I'll reformat that. Okay, well, I tried to fix the syllabus, but changes that I make in the original document don't show up in the Moodle window, at least not in my window at this time. So I've added a link directly to the Google Docs syllabus where you can review the syllabus in that format if you prefer. So we move on down here to the learning outcomes. Let's go there and see what we get. Okay, so now I'm right in the Google Docs window, and we can see the learning outcomes, understand the broad field of information design principles, theory, research, and practice. A very practical course in many respects, but it is in an MS program or certificate program. So as a graduate level course in Research University, we provide a lot of theory. We ask you to do research-based work and then to apply it in practical ways. So it's that mix of materials that you should expect to be exposed to. Apply design principles to translate complex, unorganized, or unstructured data into valuable, meaningful information. Structured data meaning that there are meta tags assigned to some of the content so that it's searchable by machines as well as people. So by design principles, we're talking about those standard design, visual page layout design principles, font choices, font sizes, the use of imagery, and all that. But we're also talking about design principles for, as in information architecture, and structuring information in ways that make it searchable, as I've described. Examine and implement systematized processes for the design of successful information. So here again, this is that information design process that we're talking about. We'll use a document called an information design project plan, and it's a fairly, in some iterations, fairly complex, but it rewards close study with insights to potential risks of a design process, and to planning and sort of scoping out in advance what those risks are and then how to circumvent them. You should know that these videos are going to be 15 minutes at the most, and that's every now and then I have to pause to check on time. Develop communication products that achieve performance objectives, which is to say that information design is very much about doing things on purpose. Choosing words for specific audiences, thinking about tone, thinking about the writing principles that you may be familiar with already if you've studied a lot of writing, and being strategic. Excuse me. Conduct research that increases understanding of information. And conducting the research means gathering data from clients, from people who need your information design expertise, and applying that data and the analysis of it to a strategy, an information design strategy. Identify relevant disciplines, network with thought leaders and tactical practitioners. This is part of that connectedness that I'm going to be emphasizing throughout the semester, asking you to connect with others, some of whom may not be in a discipline that you're familiar with, or that you think you are perhaps may not even be interested in, but we'll explore these for potential learning benefits. Design quality information and information systems by creating relationships between people and information. This again is a very strong theme in the course. I'm going to wrap up this particular video right now, and then I will see you in just a minute.